Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to my final presentation. Today I will be talking about my journey in ISM and what I've accomplished, but before I start, I want to give a special thanks to my mentor, Ryan Snell, for teaching me everything and answering all the questions I had regarding finance. Alright, so a little bit about me before I start. I'm a senior here at Frisco High School. This is my first year in ISM. I kind of wanted to take the class to see what specifically I wanted to do throughout college and what I wanted to study, and to see if what I initially thought I wanted to do is actually what I wanted to do. And I also wanted to see if the profession that I thought of doing was actually fun and entertaining and I wasn't going to be just bored doing it. I love playing soccer and spending time with my family. Those are some pictures with my family and my baby brother. I have two amazing parents, FPN and Luis, who are also here, a sister named Laura that's going to be actually taking this class next year, and a baby brother also named Luis. My introduction, we were encouraged to kind of make a quote as like a guideline of what we were wanting to accomplish throughout the journey. And my quote was, "One finds limits by pushing them." And I think that's a good kind of guideline of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to limit myself to doing one thing. I kind of wanted to explore the different regions of what I wanted to study and learn as much as possible. So initially, I was kind of stuck between marketing and finance, and I didn't really know the difference between the two. So I kind of had to do some more research and understand both before I could make a decision on what I wanted to study throughout the course. So the definition of marketing I learned was the action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. And I kind of learned quickly that it requires a lot of creative thinking, and it's more creative thinking rather than analytical, looking at data and trying to forecast things. So that didn't really appeal to me initially, but it was still in the back of my mind. And then finance is the management of large amounts of money, especially by governments or large companies. And right off the bat, I kind of knew that that's what I wanted to do, because you're looking more at data, you're kind of interpreting that data and trying to use that data to forecast future things. So for my topic, I did choose finance. And another reason that I did kind of want to do finance is the massive amounts of jobs, or the various amounts of jobs that you can actually pursue with that degree. So you could be a financial advisor, you can go on and work on Wall Street as an investment banker. Every company needs a financial analyst, or you can go to one of the major companies and do consulting. Another big influence in my decision to do finance was my father. He was initially in consulting for KPMG in Bearing Point, that he moved on to the finance department of 7-Eleven, and now he's owning stores for Pizza Hut. So he taught me a lot about finance and of business and what it takes to be successful. So I kind of want to aspire to do something similar to him. For my research, we were supposed to go over articles kind of regarding our topic, and I didn't really understand the roles that you could get with the finance degree. So one of the roles I focused on was becoming a financial analyst. And through the article, I kind of learned what a financial analyst was. And it's someone that researches macro and microeconomic conditions along with company fundamentals to make business decisions and recommendations for other people in that business. And I also learned that you should expect to be very proficient in Excel spreadsheets and analyzing data to kind of make recommendations to like a senior development team on what they should do. So you're kind of communicating a lot and interpreting a lot of data. So you need good communication skills and quick thinking and an ability to analyze a lot of data. For my interviews, we were supposed to have 5 interviews with people that were professionals in the field that we would like to pursue. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do regarding finance. So I have a variety of different backgrounds of people that I've interviewed, everything from financial director to entrepreneurs, financial analysts, financial planners, people related with real estate and finance, and then also people that were in marketing to see if they could teach me something different from what I've already learned. So the first interview I had was with Ted Snow, and he's a chief financial planner and founding principal at his own firm, Snow Financial Group. And what he does is specializes in working families, retirees, business owners, and nonprofit organizations. And he basically he gets these people with a ton of money. I think a minimum of $2 million or $250,000 up to $2 million. And he'll basically invest money in either mutual funds or different things to try to develop a way of having certain amounts of money for retirement or for that business in the future. The second person I interviewed was Rash Gopal, and he's a close friend of my dad. He's a president at SPS Foods, a Pizza Hut franchisee, and he basically owns and operates Pizza Hut stores. Before he was a Pizza Hut franchisee, he worked in the finance department of the Pizza Hut Corporation, so he had a lot of background on finance, and then he also knew a lot about management and working closely with other people. The third one I had was with Greg Eichholt, and he's the manager of real estate at Taco Bell, and they're actually headquartered at the same place as Pizza Hut, so he works closely with other Pizza Hut members that are in finance, and he also works with the Taco Bell finance team directly. He produces and presents kind of like strategies that the finance team should implement regarding real estate and how they should spread out their financial plan regarding whether they should open a store at a certain location or not, and if it's going to be worth their investment. My next interview was with Pramila, and she's another Pizza Hut franchisee. She's a franchise owner of Tex Food and DBA Pizza Hut. She also owns 18 Pizza Hut stores in the DFW region, and she does a similar thing as Rash. She actually worked her way up as a manager of a Pizza Hut, and then she did such a good job that she was offered a job at the headquarters. She worked very hard for a couple years, worked her way up to a vice president role at Pizza Hut, and then finally got the opportunity to franchise stores. So it's a really cool success story that I got to learn. And then the next person I interviewed was Ryan Snell, and he was the director of Pizza Hut Finance, but he recently got promoted to the global director of financial and capital planning at Yum, which is Pizza Hut. And he works closely with the group of members that are in finance, marketing, advertising, and consulting for Pizza Hut. So he's really working with every aspect of the business. So he has a lot of knowledge on finance and business in general and how it works. And he's very knowledgeable, and he helped me a lot through the interview, teaching me things I would have never known. The next interview was with Rich Madison. He's a director in national marketing and sales planning and forecasting at Pizza Hut as well. He focuses on national marketing calendar for Pizza Hut, kind of when they're going to advertise products throughout the year. He told me that they plan out things a year in advance. So he said that scheduling things and organizing your agenda is very important, not only in the corporate world, but in the real world overall. The next interview was Charlie Short, who's the director of business analysis at Pizza Hut. He focuses on the execution, past trends to forecast future trends, and also the research development team at Pizza Hut, which is incorporated with the finance team. So he does have a lot of knowledge of the finance team as well. John Eckert, he's a customer strategy manager at Pizza Hut, and he works directly with the customers, kind of getting their feedback. So it doesn't really have necessarily to do a lot with finance, but it has a lot to do with marketing and how to market to individuals and see if what individuals say actually plays a role in the wide scheme of things, and see if a couple of individuals can help present an idea to a large audience. And that was my last interview. Who I picked to be my mentor was actually Ryan Snell. Like I said before, he was the director of finance for just the U.S., but he recently got promoted to the global director of finance at Pizza Hut. And I chose him because he's very laid back. He's really easy to talk to, but he's very passionate about his work, and he's very knowledgeable about not only finance, but marketing, and then just running a business as a whole. So for my original work, what I planned on doing was kind of an investment presentation. So this would be kind of presented to someone that would be wanting to invest in like a Pizza Hut store. So I'm basically selling you guys Pizza Hut, and this would be a presentation that someone who's in the corporate world of Pizza Hut, trying to sell the product and the brand to an investor, basically. So this is kind of what I'm going to talk about throughout my original work. I first focus on the domestic business, so here in the U.S., why it's a popular brand, how it's primarily franchised and what that actually means, how it's a value-adding supply chain, how they're actually innovating new things and trying to modernize their technology through online and mobile marketing as well as digital marketing, and then kind of the steps of becoming a franchise, the requirements, the necessities, and what are the benefits of becoming a franchisee. So just a little bit of history about Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut was created by a group of college students that borrowed a couple $100 from their mother, and they kind of purchased the equipment and started selling the pizza locally, and it got so much attraction that they kind of opened their first store a couple years later, and now it's the largest pizza store and pizza company in the world. So a little bit about Pizza Hut as well. It's owned by Yum Brands, and it's an American fast food company that owns Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC. And it also owned Long John Silver's and A&W, but they recently sold it. So basically the benefit of that is that Pizza Hut has the ability to access Taco Bell's and KFC's basically like sales, revenues, and teams at the same location here in Plano. So if they ever have a question or if an idea works in KFC, they can try to implement it at Pizza Hut and see if it really works for them as well. So they have a very strong team of fast food companies that can help them whenever they need it. Pizza Hut has over 14,000 units worldwide. Domestically, it has 6,300 stores. So that would be like the actual stores, whether it's actual restaurants that are dine-in or carry-out, or ones that you can just pick up the pizza or they'll deliver it to you. Then they have 1,000+ express stores, so that would be the stores that are implemented in your Targets or your Walmarts that are kind of embedded into another store. And 90% of that is franchised, and what that means is someone else besides the corporation owns it, so it's individuals or a group of individuals or a different company owns that, and they pay basically a royalty to the corporation, and I think that's 6% every year. And then internationally, they own 5,600. There's 5,600 stores, and then 85% of those are franchised. So majority of the business is franchise, but a lot of the revenue that Pizza Hut does make is from that royalty that they earn. This is kind of just a graph of the average sales per year. As you can kind of see, it's kind of leveled off in the recent years. So that is an area of growth that's potentially there, but it's not necessarily a weakness because Pizza Hut is in fact the largest brand. So it's kind of leveled off, and it's going to be kind of difficult, but a good challenge to kind of increase the sales for the years to come. This is also a graph of the customer satisfaction of Pizza Hut. So as you can see, it's not as high as they would like it to be. It's in the 70s and now 80s range, but it's another area of improvement that they can work on, and they're trying to work on daily. So I mean, it's an upwards trend, so it's not getting worse, it's getting better, but there's still an area for improvement there. This is a picture of the home website. They actually did like a renovation of the whole website because they launched a new flavor campaign. So here you can kind of see one of the main aspects that's kind of centralized on Pizza Hut is the stuffed crust. No other company has seemed to perfect that, so they try to revolve a lot of things on things that only they have. So stuffed crust is one of those things. On the main website, they do have a pizza, pasta, wings, and more section, so you can see your appetizers pretty quickly. And then they also have a deal section just specifically for deals online. And that's kind of to attract customers to actually purchase digitally, because they can actually get that data right away, instead of when a customer comes in, they don't necessarily get demographics of where they purchase from or how frequently they're purchasing. So that's the main focus on getting people to order online, is that they get information quickly, and it's less hassle for the people inside the store to just look at the screen instead of picking up the phone and wasting time answering someone's order. Another feature that they do have is the coupons on the main screen. So if they ever have a big campaign going on or a feature that they want to highlight on, consumers can easily see that and click on it. And if you're wanting to, you can make an account, and you can also basically save your orders, previous orders, and it'll be very easy to reorder that same thing or kind of switch it up in a few clicks. Like I said, it's kind of a renovated website and Outlook. They recently updated their website and menu, and one of the biggest brand updates, they introduced 5 new ingredients, and I think it's like a couple hundred new sauces, spices, as well as pizza crusts in total. So they did a lot and focused more on flavor instead of just what they've previously done, which is more on deals and focusing on getting the cheapest pizza to the consumers. They're focusing more on quality instead of quantity now. Another pretty good aspect of Pizza Hut is that there's a brand within the brand, which is Wing Street, and it's basically the wings that they sell. They actually have their own. They have their own individual Wing Street stores, but most Pizza Huts actually have the Wing Street incorporated in their stores. So if you order wings, that's considered Wing Street sales. So they have bone-in, bone-out, and traditional wings, which is not very common, and it's very competitive with your with your Wingstops or your Buffalo Wild Wings in terms of taste and variety. They have honey sriracha, sweet chili, spicy barbecue, and then their most popular, honey barbecue. And they have a couple stores. If they want to implement a new idea, they tend to go to a rural area like Ohio. So that's what they did for Wing Street. It was kind of a new idea a couple years ago. They implemented it in Ohio, and it worked out really well. So they spread it out nationally, and it's now one of the biggest components of their sales. A technology shift has occurred, not only in the pizza industry, but in every industry. A lot more focus is put towards phone, desktop, and mobile sales. So what they've done to try to do that is renovate that website to get more people attracted to a better looking website and an easier way to navigate to order your pizza. And as you can see, over 40% of orders are now digitally made for Pizza Hut. So it's increasing very rapidly throughout the past few years. Another aspect that they're trying to focus on is partnerships with other big companies to increase the ease of access for customers to order their pizza or their wings or whatever they want to get. One of the big partnerships that they recently got was with Microsoft, and that's with the partnership with Microsoft, you're able to actually access like an Xbox console and order with your controller. So with a few clicks of a button and a very detailed but simple way of ordering is on the Xbox, and it's been doing very well in the past few years. Another partnership that they've recently got is with Visa, the Visa checkout. All you have to do is swipe your card with an app that you download on your phone, and you can easily order and reorder pizzas, and you don't have to re-enter your credit card information every time. So they're focusing more on innovation instead of things that have kind of worked in the past. They're taking more risk recently. The pizza industry is ever changing. It's not just a couple brands that are dominating. Well, it is a couple brands that are dominating, but there's a lot of niche kind of places that are coming up, like Pie 5, kind of a Subway-styled way of looking at your pizza. There's express stores are now coming up and are pretty popular. So you'll see Costco's or Targets with either Pizza Huts or other fast foods embedded within them. And then the 3 major brands, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Papa John's, are still leading in the market, but other companies are on the rise as well. The market share, Pizza Hut does have the largest market share with 15.2%, but Domino's and Papa John's are not far back. Domino's is the second largest pizza company, and Papa John's is the second fastest growing behind Domino's, and is quickly approaching Pizza Hut's 15% market share. So kind of key aspects of or key qualities needed to be a successful franchisee. Success doesn't necessarily revolve solely on money. If you have $1 billion, it doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in owning a Pizza Hut. You have to kind of know a little bit about the company, and they kind of recommend that you actually work in the corporate setting, so you kind of understand the finance and the accounting that goes behind it, and the marketing as well, to see basically how the promotion cycle works and when it's preferable to either do a coupon or something for that franchise. Prior business knowledge, preferably finance or economics, is very helpful. You can't let failure hold you back. You can't go down on yourself just because maybe like one quarter or a couple months you're losing some money. There's a cycle to it, and if you do your job, the market tends to do its job as well. It's also very important to keep contact with other franchisees and kind of see what they're doing and implement things that work for them into your stores, because especially in like big cities like Dallas and Fort Worth, the trends tend to be the same. So if you're contacting other franchisee and seeing, oh, like this sale didn't work in my region, so you probably should stay away from that. That's very beneficial to a franchisee. And Pizza Hut, the corporation, actually hosts meetings regarding updates on sales and their business goals for the future. So it's very beneficial if you attend those frequently. These are kind of like the requirements that you need. These are the extremes. So for a store, you would either need, for the low end, it would be around like $300,000, and it can go up to like $2.1 million for just a single store, and that would cover overhead, equipment, and employee charges for a year. And then the franchise fee is an initial one-time payment of $25,000 to the corporation, and then it's an ongoing royalty fee of 6% every year. And the term of franchise is 20 years. So if you still decide to franchise after 20 years, you would have to renew that. Some more requirements: you need a net worth of $700,000 and $350,000 in liquid cash available. That was the end of my final product, or my original work. And for my final product, I decided to expand on my original work, and instead of just focus on Pizza Hut, I decided to focus on the three major brands: Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Papa John's, and kind of see the highlights of each industry, and see at the end which company I would ultimately choose if I was an investor. So this is my final product. I did Papa John's and Domino's because they're the three, and Pizza Hut because they're the three largest Pizza Hut companies right now. So for Domino's market share, it's the second largest pizza chain in the U.S. behind Pizza Hut with 12% market share. It's the largest pizza delivery chain in the United States, and it's also the fastest growing in the United States and internationally. It has over 10,000 units worldwide. Domestically in the U.S., it has 4,900 plus stores, and 95% or more are franchise owned. So a little bit more than Pizza Hut. They have more of their revenue comes from that royalty, and then internationally, all their stores are owned by a franchisee. So they have 5,900 stores, and none of them are owned by them. They just rely on the royalty fee that they get individually from the franchisees. Recently, they had a logo change. They were Domino's Pizza, but now they're just Domino's, and that was a marketing stunt to kind of get consumers to realize that they're not just a pizza company. They're a sandwich company, a wings company. They provide great drinks and great service, so they don't want to just focus on Pizza Hut. They want to dominate more than just one aspect of fast food. Their menu is obviously built around pizzas, but they've introduced sandwiches, which is exclusively a product that Domino's has. Papa John's or Pizza Hut does not have that. They have artisan pizzas, which are focus on different regions of the world. So they have like a Cuban pizza that's like a thin crust, so it's a different kind of crust and a different flavor. They have their own specific American legends, like the Hawaiian pizza, jalapeno pizza. They have huge feast pizzas, which is also exclusive to them, that are like extra larges, which should feed like 5 to 10 people, which is a lot of food, whereas a large pizza usually tends to feed about like 2 to 4. And then they also have pasta, wings, and desserts. And that's not exclusive to them, so Pizza Hut and Papa John's have pasta, wings, and desserts as well. Innovation, they've also tried to modernize their way of attracting to the consumer. So one of the things that they've recently done is create this voice ordering guy, I guess, through their app, which is named Dom, short for Domino's. And it's basically for those who are too lazy to enter in or type in their orders on like a mobile device. You can just voice command, similar to like Siri for the iPhone. It's Dom for Domino's. And it wasn't necessarily successful in its first try, but it's a very cool thing that consumers got to see for the first time. And Pizza Hut and Papa John's are nowhere close to that type of technology. So it's a step forward in the right direction for Domino's. Something unique to Domino's is their tracker. So once you finish ordering on Pizza Hut or Papa John's, that's kind of it. You can't see where that pizza progresses. But through Domino's, you can see the steps. You can customize the background of this, and you can see like a little video of how they create your pizza, where it's going, how much time is left until it arrives, and you get like the satisfaction of knowing that they did it correctly, and you don't have to reorder or call again saying that, oh, you messed up my pizza. They can actually prove that, no, we actually didn't. So that's a very cool feature that they've had for a couple of years, and it's unique to only them. And this is kind of just a generalized, a condensed view of their sales and revenue. As you can see, it's increasing very rapidly in the past 4 years. So they're up to almost $2 billion in sales globally. So that's, and like I said before, they are the largest growing pizza company. So that's something that's working in their benefit. So now to Papa John's. Papa John's is the number 3 pizza chain in the U.S. by system-wide sales, behind Pizza Hut and Domino's. It had 8.3 market share with 2.4 billion sales in 2014. Pizza Hut, like I said, has around 17 right now, and Domino's has about 12. And this is just like a little graph of what it was in 2010. And as you can see, there's a little bit of change, but not much. A lot more independent chains have popped up, but Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Papa John's are still the dominant 3 in the industry. They have a lot fewer stores than Papa John's and than Pizza Hut and Domino's, with over 4,500 units worldwide. They only have 3,000 plus stores domestically, with 75% of those franchise-owned, which is less. So they have more focus on their corporate side and actually developing their own stores rather than just relying on the royalty fee that they would get. And internationally, they have 1,300 stores. And since it is so far away, most companies tend to franchise those out. So they just worry about the royalty fee and not have to worry about the international markets or the change in currencies over there. This is like a look of their most popular specialty pizzas. They do have pizzas, their own specified specialty pizzas, wings, appetizers like breadsticks, cinnamon sticks, and the desserts are a different section as well. Those would be like your Hershey's cookie, your pies, your apple pies, and like your cinnamon sticks as well. So not much originality there. It's kind of the basic general foods aside from like the specialty pizzas. They do have promotional days, I guess, where they will focus on a specific aspect or merge with a different company. Like recently they went with the Fritos chili pizzas when the Super Bowl was coming around. So they promoted that with Peyton Manning. So that was a big success. They usually have those a couple days a year, and they just try to see what the consumers like and see if that's actually something they can implement long term. Something that's unique to them is the digital gift cards. So on their app on the mobile phone, you can actually download gift cards and send them through text messages. So you can load up like $10, $20, $50 and send it to someone electronically. And they also have a rewards program that I'll kind of talk about right now. So this is kind of the look of their website. And if you click on the Papa Rewards at the top, this is what comes up, and this is very exclusive